Good morning, everyone. Welcome to week 7 today. It's our arrival to the final threshold of the cycle, which we enter from Citrinus to Rubedo, the reddening, where opposites unite and a new life begins. This week, the mirror is no longer just between you and you. It's between you and another person that has been emerging through this process. And the paradigm shift is what we're going through. We're shifting the way we perceive life. We're looking at things that have transformed. And what we're going to do today is we're going to dive deeply into the color, as color is one of the most direct pathways into your subconscious. Before any words, before any stories, before any metaphors or logic, the body responds to color. And color is a very strong vibration and an energetic frequency that speaks in feelings rather than thoughts. And that's why today we're going to explore our intuitive color perception of life, where you choose a color intuitively. You're not choosing with the mind. And when you do choose with the mind, you follow in that direction, and then you converting it into sensing. So each hue holds the tone of your emotional landscape. And today is that process where I would like you to dive into feeling the vibration of color without putting any boundaries on yourself, any frameworks on what that color represents. And then after that, we'll use the logic or intuitive calling of what does it mean, makes you feel. So kind of a bit of exploration of your perception of color. But before we do that, just want to make sure that you have a piece of paper. That's what we need today. And then I would like you to have any color materials that you currently have. It could be pencils, markers, it could be oil pastels. So today I am using a set of markers and a 4 size piece of paper. So please get that ready. That would be very useful. And before we go into the color, I would like you to talk about paradigm shift, because that's what's happening on this week. The paradigm shift is not just a psychological change, it's an alchemical one. It comes from in a moment when your worldview dissolves and new architecture and meaning begins to take form. And that's why this stage, as I said, we call it Rubedo. It's a reddening stage. It's the final fiery phase where the spirit and matter unite, where insight becomes alive, and where the self has been purified through previous stages and finally comes into the different form. And that's the birth of yourself, integration of your new part of you that no longer operates from old wounds or inherited patterns or construction, but from conscious choice. And that's what we're doing through the paradigm shift, the internal map you once navigated by, the beliefs you inherited, the stories you lived, the environment that has created you, the protective identities that you've carried breaks open. Not because it's falling apart, it's because your perception of it changes. It's because you're actually aware of all this. And the world looks different, not because the external world has changed, but because you have, because you started perceiving it differently. And Rubedo is the heat that fuses your inner opposites, that shadow work and your inner knowing, the fear that and the courage the past that has formed you and the possibility of the new. In this state, you become capable of meeting life with clarity, and transformation is not complete until you start living it. So that's the moment we're going to jump in today, is into living it through your feelings, your emotional presence, not through the mind. So, and to start with, I would like you to find a blindfold if you have, find a scarf, or, you know, it could be anything that could literally close your eyes. So the blindfold with closed eyes could be the same, but I just want to make sure that you have that feeling of not being able to see, you know, because when you just close your eyes, you still have the ability to lift them up anytime. So if you have it blindfold, that would be amazing to go into that little short exercise that we're going to do. So blindfold, and then any marker and piece of paper in front of you. If you have any questions, please let me know as well. So the blindfold is there to create that inner connectedness with yourself, and ability to switch off the perception through your eyes. And that's what we want to do. We want to switch it off completely with no option for you to open your eyes up. And if you do, you have nothing you can see. So it activates your brain and takes off that ability to see. So yes, please go ahead, put your blindfold on and get yourself comfortable on the chair and close your eyes in the blindfold, and just take a deep breath in and out, and just feel with your hands the canvas in front of you, the piece of paper with both your hands, and then find a pencil, a pen, an oil pastel, whatever you have in front of you, and just take it in your hand and just feel it in your hand, and sense the chair that you sit on, feel the feet on the ground, feel the weight of your body, and start connecting to your breath, breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your mouth with a full darkness and no ability to see, just a sensation. And take a deep breath in and out, and just get into the present moment, right here, right now. You may imagine this is the part of you who has witnessed yourself, the one that you met in the mirror, and the one that feels and wants to be present with you today. So please put one hand on the paper and open your pencil or pen, and slowly start drawing with no expectations, just feeling the hand and make moves and draw whatever comes through your awareness of your body, through your hand, and just have that moment of drawing in the complete darkness. And I'll give you 2 minutes to do that, to jump deeply into the act of drawing in the darkness. And as you draw, just notice the thoughts that comes through and let them happen and let them go, and continue to draw with your hand and noticing any emotions that comes up through that process for you, any sensations. And that beautiful moment, as you dive into the darkness, I would like you to slowly stop drawing and put your pen, pencil down and take a breath in and attune to the sensations and feelings that you have in your body. This process is a surrender, the merging spirit, matter, control, chaos, the seen, the unseen, anything that comes from the darkness and not be able to see anything but create. So take a deep breath in and out, and you can open your blindfold very slowly and just sit with closed eyes before you open them, and attune yourself to any feeling, connect with your sensations in your body, and slowly open your eyes and have a look at what have been presented from your body to your eyes at the moment. Just observe what has been presented from you to you. And if you have any questions or insights that came through, please share. But it's good to start looking at whatever came up for you with no judgment and curiosity, and seeing if there's anything, symbols, shapes that your eye pick up, as recognizing yourself in it. And if there's any shapes, forms, silhouettes that you see, just write down what it looks like, or you can mark out of it to make it more prominent, and write down what is that without the meaning, just the presence of it, of what came up, and go through your drawing again and see if there's anything. Please also turn the page around and allow yourself to explore with your eyes what your body has been presenting to you. So that's a very exciting process, and I would like you to go back to it after we do this exercise, and continue with that. And you can sit down or journal or just write down the meaning of what has been presented to you from you that has been in the darkness. And that's our opening for exploration of the colors. So today I would like you to take another piece of paper. I hope you have enough piece of paper. So today we're going to do this very, very unique, special color test. I don't like the word test, but at the same time, it's simple, revealing tool that helps you understand yourself through color. So let's call it a test. And it's a gentle way to see yourself without logic, mind, analytical, overthinking, analyzing. This process invites you to respond intuitively and letting color become the bridge between your emotions, your energy, and your inner landscape. Whatever is your environment, whatever is your culture inside, color has its own language. And what we're going to do, so we're going to do 7x7 color test that uses 49 different color squares arranged in a grid. So how do you do that? So first of all, you take, and again, it doesn't have to be perfect. In our portal, for the week 7 PDF, we have this test for the week to come to practice. And right now, right here, we'll do the test unprepared. And so what you're going to do, you're going to have lines. So you need 7x7 color tests. So we need 7 basically squares. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 8 lines, 7 lines all up. And then we do squares. So we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's our 49 squares. Of course, you can use the PDF printed and you have that test inside, or you can have a ruler and make it all perfect. And the point today is to have 7x7 squares, so 49 different colored, same size squares. If it's not same size, it doesn't really make a difference for us today. So through a series of selections, so please select 5 to 7 colors in front of you. So I will select the colors that speaks to me today. So select 5 to 6 to 7 colors that you have. So if you have oil pastels and markers like me, select the one that you want to use today that speaks to you, that brings, if you select black, that's the color. If you select white, that's the color. Again, define yourself, which colors do you want to use today. So for me, I have a variety, and I would like to pick 7 completely different colors, or maybe even 5 if they so I do want yellow. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm selecting 7 different colors today for myself. So please select these colors and then put them aside, and that's what you're going to use for the test. These are the only colors that you're going to use. And how we start the test is, as you've prepared the grid, and then you've selected the colors, we're going to color the squares in any form, shape that you want. So what to remember first before you do. So start with one color, color it, choose the color that intuitively you're drawn to first, and mark on the grid. So making a decision where to start, where do you want to start with it intuitively. And then you put that color down, and then you go to the next color, and then you go to the next color. And that process of please, you can, document yourself. So what I would do is I would select the priority of colors that I'm going to use first. So I remember which color I've started with, and then which colors I'm going to use after as a mine own grid. So that's my priorities. There's no right or wrong. Again, we're simply noticing what you're drawn to today. And then go into coloring process. So you start with that first color and you make a decision. So I'm going to use it this way. So that's going to be my top. That's going to be my bottom of 7 by 7. And I'm going to start coloring the squares. So please go ahead. If you have any questions, write comments, and start with the coloring. So as you start, just notice what comes through for you. It's like when you color those coloring books, where do you usually start? So same here. Go intuitively. Just figure out where you're drawn to, and with no critical thinking, just allow yourself just to color. And as you color, just enjoy the actual process of coloring. You can use different ways of coloring. During this exercise, I've seen a lot of different variation of creativity coming through. So there's no rules, as I said. The one rule is to go through the process intuitively. Go through the process intuitively, guided by just your sensations and no logic. Choose the colors that you feel most resistance to or the most drawn to, and then have your preference. And fill up this whole 7 by 7. As colors has its own language, it speaks through your sensation, what you're pulling to, your preferences. Some colors feel more comforting, others feel more energetic, some feel strangely neutral, some others reflecting something. Combination next to each other creates your representation of the colors. So just use colors to connect to yourself, to your feelings, and the process should be guided completely intuitively. And allow yourself to be curious as well and have that childlike playfulness in coloring. And as there's no outcome, there's no expectations, just fully engage in process. So this test has been used in art therapy as the name of it, Hans Rudolf Zurfluch. He's Austrian psychotherapist that has been using this test for recognizing and opening up people with trauma, opening up their feelings, emotions, and what's happening within them, and recognizing that. So it's widely known, I guess, not so much in Australia, but it is widely known in Europe, has been practiced in clinical environments mostly, and I am bringing it to you today. Yes, so as you go ahead, let me know when you finished, if you finished. So let me know when you finish, what's happening with you, and if there's any questions, let me know. As we will go into rely, we go into analysis. Okay. So as you finished, once your grid is complete, take a moment and simply look at it. So the first question you ask, what colors dominate on your top row, on the top row? What colors are dominating? So the simple task is just counting what colors are dominating on the top. So let's see. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's say this is our half. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is our half. So that's a cross, right? So you have this side, you have top side, you have bottom side. You have left top, right top, bottom right, bottom left. Obviously, the screen will change that. But so that's your map. So what are the colors that dominate on the top of your grid? And simply by visually noticing or calculating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 6 pinks. So I guess that's my dominating color on the top. And then what colors are dominating on the bottom? So I feel there is more orange. Yeah, it feels like there's more orange on the bottom. So I have pink on the top, orange I have on the bottom as my dominating. And ask yourself, do you notice any clusters, any themes, any patterns that you've used through this? The combination that you feel drawn to, or any surprising choices that you've made in coloring. So what we do when you do this test, to read it properly, you can send a photo to me and I'll give you a full reading. And the other way to read it is colors with the strongest emotional connections. For example, it is, the choice was made for me yellow. usually represent your current identity, your current aspiration, emotional strengths, what feels safe or aligned at the moment for you. It's something that represents the need or the state that you're currently identifying as your priority. So yellow represents, I will go through the colors representation later. So just look what is your priority and at the moment, how these colors are emotionally charged. So colors with little emotional charge, which is the least priority for you, reflect your stability, areas of neutrality, emotional balance. So this color, the purple, means this, it exists in my life. I know about it. I am aware of that purple energy in my life, and it gives me stability. It is my area of comfort, area of emotional balance, which is not surprising. It's purple. Basically, that's my comfort zone. And then you also see how, you've used this color in the chart. So colors you avoid or feel disconnected from, black, the colors that I didn't use. Blue, there's no blue in this chart. Colors you avoid or feel disconnected from often linked to your discomfort, suppressed feelings, emotional avoidance, or hidden tension. What is that representing that I actually don't want it in my chart today? What is this color? Every blue that I didn't pick in my case. What does it give, represent for me, this color? What emotion does it give for me that I am currently don't want to reflect in me? It gives me discomfort. It suppresses me. I want to avoid it, and it gives me tension if I would use that. So that's how you look at the colors with high, middle, low priority for yourself. And then we'll go into the most important and always asked question, representations of your colors and their meaning. Of course, in every culture, there's a different meaning to colors. And I have a big article on my website about color therapy and the meaning of color. But the main thing is there's a overall general understanding of color vibrations that is represented in our chakras. Um, the all-known 7 or 8 color scheme, the rainbow scheme that comes from the root to the top, going from red for material, orange for energy, yellow for action, and then goes to the green to the heart, throat, blue, purple, third eye, and then light. So the same applies, to the reading of your own colors. So warm colors, reds, yellows, oranges, often represent energy, action, passion, and at the same time, it represents anger, material aspects. So every color has positives and negatives, and your representation of it is how you feel towards the color. So that's your own representation of it. So the cool colors, blue, green, violets, often reflect calm, depth, sadness, peace, steadiness, stability. So what color appears for you and what represents your emotional state? Again, you look at the repetition. A reoccurring color may point into the theme of your life. If there's a lot of warm colors, like in my case, that represents what is actually happening within me. If there's a lot of cool colors, like in your case, it also represents the desire to be in a calm, peace environment, the depths of it. So just going through that, what in your repetition, the most recurring color, if it's warm or cold. And then the other thing you notice is a contrast, the opposing colors, the opposites that may suggest there's internal conflict. So the opposite colors is usually the one that stands in front of each other on the color scheme. And in this case, for me, it's yellow and purple. So you can see it's contrasted. So the opposite colors is, that's the opposite, blue and yellow. And then you have going like that, the green and red, that's the opposite color. So it creates a contrast. If you would want to know more, of course, I have a whole description of color therapy. But what we're doing here is just to see if there's any particular parts on your chart where you have that contrast, and how does it feel so for me in my case, so I have yellow and purple. Again, my priority yellow, my least priority is purple. And the contrast that I've picked up in the middle, in the square, is that desire of action. Yellow is action, energy. And then I have that deepest calmness and depth and peace within me. So that's currently, what's on the agenda in my life. That balance between a lot of energy happening, action, and then desire to just go deep into myself and come and be present with nothing. And that's the contrast that came up through this grid. So what does this color feel good for you? What does this color remind you of? Why do I avoid this color? Please ask yourself these questions during analysis or your own chart, and let the colors tell your story. So the grid shows what is currently happening for you right here, right now. It is your color map of your presence, of your existence at this present moment. I would love you to share with me your photos, and I can give you a depth analysis, just from whatever comes up here, and I will guide you on pointing out the things that you really want to attune to understand yourself from subconscious. So the color map represents what your logic doesn't know, what your mind doesn't know, what your mind doesn't pick up at the moment. Your subconscious talking through your emotions, through your feelings. In the case where you have something to say, but you don't know what is it, this is the way how we can help you to go deeper and see what's on the agenda. And the beauty of it, there's no third person in this. It's just you and you. It's the connection between your inner self and your logic self. So concentrating and trying to make it perfect will never work. There's no such thing as perfection. You are going deep into yourself, and the interpretation as well is your own in this way, because the way you choose the colors, the way they make you feel, represents what's currently happening in your life. And this way can guide you to understand better of how you can use colors. So the first thing I would like you to do is to go back through all those questions based on your color chart, and start with writing them down on the side of this chart and put a date. And then during the week, we have a beautiful PDF created where I have that grid 7x7, 49 squares, and you can create a visual map of your emotional field at this moment of time, and do that daily or whenever you feel like you have time, and select your most preferred to least preferred colors, and then cover the grid and let the colors show you what feels alive, neutral, resisted within you. Notice your emotional landscapes through color rather than thought, and this is your energetic self-portrait for the week. You can send me your color test for further reading during the week, and then you can ask yourself and journal what colors dominate on the top, bottom, what is a cluster, what reflects from your subconscious, what did you put in the center, what have you put on the sides, bottom, top, left, bottom, right, and then whatever is there, please honor yourself. So write it down, journal it on the side, put a date, and have a moment to honor whatever is present for you. That's amazing practice to connect to yourself through colors. So if you have any questions, let me know. I would like to finish our sessions with tapping. Again, today, there's other mapping exercises that we've done before, like a body map. This is a color mapping exercise, so you can do it anywhere. You can do it at work. And today I would like to finish with tapping, and I am drawing the card for everyone this week of what is coming through the animals intuitive. They feel vibration and frequencies that we can't. And I would like to tap into the frequency of animals today with the oracle card and pull out one card that could guide us through something that is aware for all of us. Again, if you have any questions, please send me a message on WhatsApp or under this video. And today we are finishing with the card that comes up. And a tapping exercise. So based on this card, we'll pick the tapping that we're going to do based on what. So it's number 10, and it says leadership. So the elephant. This is time to step forward and lead, and it is now. Be the leader in your own life. If you want something achieved, take the lead yourself. Be the example that others will follow. Do not lead by force, but instead by inspiration. In Hindu, god Ganesha was shaped from the earth by the goddess Parvati. When her husband Shiva returned after a long time away from home, the first thing he saw was a handsome young man with Parvati. In his anger, he attacked the young man, severing his head. Parvati then revealed who Ganesha was, and Shiva sent his soldiers to return with the head of any sleeping being that was facing the north. An elephant was found, and its head was attached to the body of Ganesha. The life of Ganesha was restored, and Shiva declared that from then on, this elephant-headed young man would always be loved by the community and his name invoked as a joyful blessing prior to the beginning of major undertakings such as business developments and projects of all kinds. It would be Ganesha who made sure no obstacles would be placed in the way of righteous action, but it was always he who placed obstacles to encourage people to take different directions. Today, Ganesha is one of the most loved of all Hindu gods. So elephants are richly represented in lots of myths where they're present. And most tales speak of their wisdom and strength and the ability to guide through difficult circumstances. So the magic of elephant is very powerful. It's calm. It can be used when you wish to have obstacle removed or take out any situation out of your life. Elephants are very wise. They are leaders, which is where their magic is so effective. If you wish to become a better leader or at least a wiser one, or you would like to attract such a person in your life, ask for the elephant to lend the energy to you. So based on that leadership, we will do the tapping exercise on the chest to open the chest, to have that ability to breathe through and bring that leadership qualities inside of us. So we'll start with affirmation of the energy of the leader inside of you that wants to come through. And you tapping on these collarbones slowly, sensing your own leadership inside of you, your own wisdom, the presence and the power with calm energy. So we tap in for that. And then we have this very strong muscles that represents our power. So please open your hands up and put it on your hips and open your chest and pull your shoulders down and lift your, you could see, lift your head up a bit and just breathe through the chest in that, activating those powerful muscles that hold you and opening up your presence, feeling the full breath in and breathe out. The full breath in and breathe out. And then just to finish off, put your hands in a praying position and just tightly press against each other, feeling the balance between the two, between two sides, between logic and creativity, between negative and positives, between feminine and masculine, and just feel that connection that supports each other. There's no one winning or losing. They are balancing each other. Thank you so much. I hope you have an amazing week. Please send through your color mapping tests to me directly, and we'll read them for you. It's amazing what comes through this color test. Thank you all.